I'll give you a player. We'll figure out where we want them to end up. Let's start with Kirk Cousins, because every conversation has to start with quarterbacks so that people listen and they click. I'll give you a dream scenario for Kirk Cousins. And we're not factoring salary cap in here. I think if Kirk Cousins wanted to go somewhere where he could immediately have impact, he goes to Denver. Hear me out. He gets to play with He gets to play for Sean Payton. And Sean Payton gets a veteran quarterback that can sort of run all of this offense through him. And it buys them time to figure out what they're doing.
I'm going to send him to Pittsburgh. I know that like Mason Rudolph did well at the end of the year, but I feel like I think Kirk is an overachiever relative to what people think he is. And I also think Mike Tomlin is clearly that. And I just would love to see like their stars collide and like, what can we do now? And like, how can he kind of like teach everyone else on the offense? It doesn't necessarily have to be for 10 years. He doesn't have to be your long-term answer. I don't know how many more years he even wants to play, but I think that you put him there, you let him sort of be an adult in the room in the offense that I think really needs an adult in the room. And I think that the Steelers are now more competitive in the AFC than they were AFC North than they were before.
Baker Mayfield, I talked to him at the Super Bowl and I asked him what was different this year. And what I thought was interesting was he was pretty transparent about the pressure that he felt in Cleveland, what it meant to have to be everything to everybody in that organization, the outside noise that you couldn't help but feel because of the expectations, and the difference in Tampa where he just came in and was sort of allowed to be himself in a system that already existed. It resonated so much with me that I just think, not only do I think he will stay in Tampa, I want him to stay in Tampa.
Yeah, I think my thing with Baker in Tampa is that if you're Tampa, you should want him again because he played really well. You thought you were looking for a quarterback. You thought he was a bridge. He totally surpassed your expectations. And having that answer to quarterback, it's not about having a top 5. If you have like a top 15 quarterback, it's a pretty big deal in any division, and especially in a division that has a lot of room for opportunity.
Russell Wilson, I personally would put on the New England Patriots. Everybody keeps saying the Steelers, and I get why. But here's the thing. Even if the Patriots stay at 3 and draft a quarterback, I think the Patriots are a viable candidate to try and trade down. The more I keep hearing that, the more I wonder if somebody's going to give up a king's ransom. And like I said earlier, they need talent all over the place. So if you're Russ, like, look, if they draft a quarterback, you might want to give that person a little bit of time to develop while the roster gets better. If you don't draft a quarterback, Russ is better than Mac Jones. Mac Jones is not good. So give yourself the opportunity to at least bring Russ in, and he can be Russ.
I'm wondering, when I look at the Minnesota Vikings, like, yeah, they need a quarterback. They're not going to keep Kirk Cousins, it seems, and they're not drafting until 11. Could they move up? Sure, they could. I think that Kevin O'Connell, one, is extremely easy to get along with. And so, like, you take the Sean Payton problems, like, yeah, Sean Payton is notoriously not easy to get along with, very good at his job, but also very hard to get along with. And you put Russ in a situation where he has a lot left in the tank. You're putting with Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson. You've got a defense that can help support you. But I think that you put him in Minnesota, and they should definitely be a playoff team. The question is just how far they go.